Hello, I'm Jelelle Awen, and this is day 11 of 33 days in my video series called Deepen. Today is a significant day in that it's January 11th or 1/11, and these days that fall in our calendar that are sequential numbers, such as February 22nd, August 8th, 11/11, 10/10, they seem to have a meaning. And some of that is because we place a meaning on them. So as we've placed a meaning on these days, I feel as if the divine responds. So similar with eclipses, where all of the collective attention goes toward the eclipses. Our attention goes toward, we're tuned into these number sequences. And you know this if you've noticed repeating numbers, especially 1/11 or 11/11. Some days, it seems like every single hour, I'm getting repeating number sequences coming to me in different ways. And I think all of us have that experience who are awakening. And I feel there's kind of an activation in these repeating numbers that goes on at the DNA level, at the cellular level. And there's also, I always feel it as kind of a wink from the divine and from our higher self. It's usually an encouragement, it's a sinking in with something, it's an affirmation or a confirmation that you're on the right path, and whatever you're focusing on in that moment is going to lead you to a higher place and your higher timeline. And that is definitely, I want to feel into this day, January 11th, yet I also want to create a bigger picture sense around it so that you could come back to this video and this meditation on any of the sequential number days, so that you could apply it whenever you're finding yourself in a 10/10, 8/8, or whichever day. These seem to be markers of portals, portal openings. I also can call them gateways, and I kind of feel that they're interchangeable. And really what they are is an opportunity. It feels like something opens and allows more to come through, more of the cosmic ascension energies that I spoke about in day 9. So this portal opening, maybe it's that we become more opened because of the activation of the repeating numbers, or there's just more energy available on these days. I'm not sure, maybe it's both. We become more open and there's more energy available. They definitely activate. I got up, I think 3 o'clock this morning and couldn't get back to sleep. I just had this energy moving through me, and it was excitement and alchemy, and that's where my life is right now. There's just a lot opening up for me, including this video series. So you might feel that too on these days. It almost feels like Christmas morning sometimes, where there's this anticipation of receiving gifts or excitement about what's coming. So usually they're quite wonderful in that way. They can be, as with any time you're activated, they can also bring you maybe into an intense state, more body fatigue or body pain or whatever it is that your body's moving through right now as it calibrates to an increasingly high energies that are coming in. I did do a body meditation on day 8 that was hopefully very soothing and calming to the body with Mother Mary's help. So this might be actually a really good day to take that in addition to day 9, which was about the ascension chakras especially. So I feel like they all support each other. So if you're doing these videos sequentially, that's wonderful. If you're joining me every day as I'm putting them out, that's great. If you're just dipping in to wherever you feel most resonant, that's fine too. So the whole sense of these days, every time I fell into them, there seems to be specific themes going on, or at least what I'm offered. The theme right now, and I've been writing about it a bit too, I did an energy update this morning that I'll link to, and it was about this sense of new Lemuria. And I want to talk a bit about new Lemuria and what I feel that is and what that offers us. I feel like it really is a template. Because time isn't linear, we could look at the Lemurian civilization. We could say that it fell and collapsed. There's ranges, but about 16,000 years ago when Atlantis fell. And then many Lemurians went underground. Some scattered to other geographies. What it feels like to me, because time isn't linear, is that Lemuria definitely still exists as it was, and is a definite dimension and timeline that you can visit and connect to. And when you do, I have described it as kind of like the best Hawaiian vacation you've ever had, if you've had one. Not just Hawaiian, it's also mountainous. So if you've been to the mountains and just felt this expansive, opened out feeling, that to me is Lemurian energy. It's connected to Gaia in a very intimate way, where you get the feeling that you don't really need anything else than what Gaia could offer you. It's beyond grounded. I mean, it is grounded, but it's of the earth, it's of Gaia. And this is how the Lemurians live. They're in harmony, they're in balance, they're in understanding, frequency. I think they come from different places, but one of the biggest places seems to be the Pleiades. And they have that the Pleiadians on Gaia is how the Lemurians feel to me. Now the Pleiadians in the Pleiades feel different. They're even much higher frequency. I've been shown sort of crystal cities, selenite cities, smaller population. Being here on Gaia, they would adjust to Gaia. And there's other mixes in there too. But it's when you feel a Hawaiian native culture, when you feel Native American culture, when you feel First Nations cultures, you can get some sense of what Lemuria is transforming. It's so hard not to use past tense. It's just how we think. What it's transforming into. And this is a wonderful thing to start to connect with. The invitation of this day and all days is to connect to your Lemurian aspect. You may even have more than one. I talked yesterday about the Metasoul and how the soul at the higher self source level, what I call the Metasoul, because it's meta, fractures out or fragments out into all of these different timelines. And Lemuria is a pretty common one, if maybe not one we've all shared. And it can be really meaningful to connect with it, to connect with the aspect. I've actually have two that are connected to Lemuria. One of them was aware of the fall, is a wise woman to her people. Her name is Reina, and she helped them go underground. So many of them went underground and continue to live in inner earth to this day. And Reina is really the one I connect to get a sense of what's coming. She gives me a lot of frequencies of appreciation for being on the surface, as she calls it, and the difficulties and challenges of being on the surface. So that's an example of an aspect you can connect with. The other one I've connected with since I moved here to Victoria, BC, which is near Seattle, Pacific Northwest. And I just immediately, almost as soon as I landed here, I was activated to connect with Ada, another Lemurian aspect. She's more, she came after inner earth. So some of the Lemurians came out and went to the surface. This is what we call Native Americans or First Nation. She's First Nation. She's around this area of Canada. And her timeline, of course, before industrial, before modern. Mostly what I do with her when we visit is we paddle in her canoe, just all over the waterways here, which are really beautiful. And as I'm paddling with her, it sounds really simple, but it just gives me these beautiful frequencies of relaxation and stillness. I was with her yesterday as I was walking through a park that we have here that's right on the waterway, the point of the sea. And she said to me, I shared it on Facebook, be patient as the sea, open as the breeze, and steady as the trees. And I really took that in for a while. I had to come home and write it out, and then I got clearer about it. But as you feel into it, it's so simple. This is also Lemurian. There's a simplicity to their philosophy. There are no religions. There's really not much ego. It's very tribal. So it's unity consciousness in a frequency that's connected to Gaia. So it's galactic origins, but it doesn't feel galactic. And I think that's why it's so useful right now. When we feel into new Gaia or new Earth or 5D Earth, it can feel difficult to imagine at times. What would that really look like? But if we feel Lemuria happening now, which is a wonderful blend of balance with Gaia and modern technology, especially some of the technologies that are going to come out with disclosure of star being technologies that will change our world as we know it, bringing so many gifts to us that we're almost ready for, feels like, to receive. We're still going through as a collective lower 4D, 3D machinations and lots of learning. And that learning cycle may be for a while yet before my sense is, what I've been given a sense of, is that they don't want to rescue us with technologies. They don't want to rescue us from our issues with famine or food or feeding each other. They're hoping that with ascension, that we will come up with our own solutions, and the technologies will just support the movements that we're making as a culture. So star beings, Lemurians, they don't want to rescue us. They want us to have our sovereignty. They want to respect our sovereignty, even if that leads to some shadow places, which it has, of course. But if you're someone who's, and you probably wouldn't be watching this if you weren't, someone who's keying into your higher timeline and your higher self, then they will definitely be there to support you, and especially Lemurians. This is coming out the last few sessions that I've done. The woman I'm working with, her Lemurian aspect has come out, and it's just been really beautiful energy. It's so supportive. The Lemurian aspect really helps hold the space for the emotional trauma that needs to be digested, for the karmic soul frequencies that need to be felt through these darker lower D4 timelines that can be really challenging. The Lemurian can be such a beautiful guide for that. Well, I didn't know that's where I was going today on 1/1, on 1/11, but it feels like that's what's up for me, and that seems to be what's up in sessions. And I'm hearing from people too that there's overall more awareness. If you think of Lemuria in the past as some kind of ancient civilization, it's going to feel very distant to you. If you start to bring it into your consciousness as happening now, and that you have aspects of your soul that are Lemurian, that are living in inner earth, that are connected to First Nations and Native American timelines, and that the ones that are probably need your healing and love, as I described in yesterday's video, then you can begin to bring this possibility of new Lemuria closer to your heart. And you can feel it resonate in your soul then. and the manifestation of it and the visualization of it becomes so much more real. So today's meditation, we will connect to the 111 codes. And again, I feel like you could use this for any of the repeating number days. You could put in the date, whichever date it is, and see what you get from it. This again is to make these significant portal openings personal to you, to create a bridge to them that is meaningful. Okay. So go ahead and close your eyes if you haven't already. Start to focus on your breathing, your inhale and exhale. Whatever rhythm feels good to you. Bring some white light through your chakras, starting up at the top at the personal sun, about 2 feet above your head. Just rain the white light down into your crown, the top of your head, and down third eye, forehead, throat, heart, solar plexus, stomach, sacral, and your root system connected to Gaia. That feels like a big one for today, is that connection to Gaia, that grounded, wonderful lifeline that she provides. And I'm actually seeing a beautiful setting by the water, by the ocean. It's a calmer ocean like we have here. Soft lapping waves, soft colors in the sky, pinks and kind of a peach color. The sun is setting. There's an overall tranquil feeling, even as it's alive and vibrant. There's some whales playing in the water. Or, if you prefer, some otters or seals, or all of them. Maybe you see all of them. And as you're taking in this setting, I actually am feeling two guides. They're both feminine. One of them is Mother Gaia herself. It can be wonderful to connect with Gaia as a guide. So I see her coming toward us. She has kind of made out of leaves and tree branches, as if there were a suit or a cloak over her, and she's coming toward us with her arms outstretched. Go ahead and slip into Gaia's arms and let her hold you. It should feel wonderful, so grounding. Taking in Gaia this way as a guide can be quite powerful, actually. Sometimes it's a really good bridge for people to the Divine Mother. They already relate very strongly with nature. So moving Gaia into a guide frequency is easier for them. So you could feel her as a guide. I see her pointing down the way a little bit, and right at the cliff edge where it drops off toward the water, there's 111. The numbers 111, and they are glittery, but soft glitter. That's how I'm seeing them, but I definitely invite you to see them in whatever way you'd like to. They almost look like the water, how the water surface shimmers, and they appear to be shimmering like that. And I feel Gaia saying these codes, this 111 is whatever you need it to be. It holds the possibilities and opportunities for your becoming. So take in the 111 for a moment, and what is it offering you? What do you feel and see as you connect with it? I also see here with us, which is sweet to me, my Lemurian aspect, Ada, that I told you about. She's here, standing by Gaia. She has long black hair. She looks Native American or First Nations, and she's in, it looks like quite a fancy outfit today. Quite beautiful tribal ceremonial outfit, and she's saying that, she says, I'm so happy to be here with you on this day. It is meaningful. My culture, what you call Lemurian Mu, is coming closer to yours. It will arise again in your consciousness. It will serve as a template to you. It will provide a model and a way to be. And we will learn from you as you learn from us. This is the way of collaboration. This is what we wanted with Atlantis. That's healing too, though, that wound. And we look forward to our resurrection and our rising and our renewal in celebration with yours. Ada konesenam pante. Asadu shenesnam. Patakusente honam pante. Hanakushenda sente. Misono lata. You might feel a reaction to Ada's message just now and the Lemurian language coming through. There's many Lemurian languages. This is hers. Just feel if you're connected to your Lemurian aspect, you can invite them forward now or just feel the goodness of the energy. This portal opening on 111 to Lemuria. What you might be feeling is there is healing to do, karmic healing to feel and do in these timelines, especially Native American and First Nations. There's exploitation, fear, colonization, separatization, violence. There's a lot of things to feel. There's a lot of duality and polarity in these timelines. So you can connect to aspects like Ada, who are quite in relaxation and peace and higher frequency, yet you also might feel aspects that are in battles or torn between their culture and the settlers' culture. There's all kinds of different themes here that come through that are ripe for healing. So just allow whatever your soul's association is with this Lemurian energy to begin to ripen and come through. Okay, we will thank Mother Gaia for coming. I was wanting to have her join us. And thank you to Ada for the message. Go ahead and open your eyes. And hopefully you experienced something of this Lemurian possibility today, or maybe 111 means something else for you. I do feel overall that it's an opportunity to move into our higher timeline possibilities in all areas of life. So as you soak that in, you might focus today in your thoughts and in your heart around what it is that you most desire in your life to experience in relationships, in vocation, and soul purpose, in physical expression, and body vitality, and sexuality, in financial, money abundance, whatever that means to you. Just feel into that sense of your higher timeline. There's a wonderful opportunity for it today in this portal. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow.